This video sponsored by Meeple Movers. No minimum order, no subscriptions. Free shipping on every item, every day. At meeplemovers.com.
Hello and welcome to the Bryan's Guide Game. I'm Bryan. Today I've got a game called Crave. Crave is a two-player deck-building game by Bryan Sloan and will soon be published by Black Forest Games. In this game, players are either vampires or vampire hunters. Each player begins the game with a starter deck of 10 cards, and these cards have basic actions to attack and buy more cards. This is a deck-building game, so there's a center common pool that everybody can buy cards from, and there's also one lineup for each player that only they can buy from. Players alternate turns building their decks and dealing damage until one player loses all of their health and is defeated. So let's check it out, and I'll show you how to use sentinels, when to get groupies, and how to hunt and avoid being hunted in Crave. To set up, choose one player to be the vampire player and one player to be the vampire hunters. So each player gets these cards, and then they get to show how much health they have. Right here, that is 70, and that's how much each player starts with. They also get a reminder card with most of the rules for each card on it. So each player gets one of those. I'm going to move these off to the side a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to take the main deck. I'm going to deal out 5 cards here. So there we go. And then we're going to take each player pool, this is the vampire one, and deal out 4. Go like this. Then the human pool. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then each player gets their starting hand. It's noted by these moons here. These ones all have values that you can buy them. These ones have moons. That means you started them. So each player gets some of those. You are now ready to begin. Determine one player to go first. They get to draw 4 cards, and then the other player gets to draw 5. So we've got 4 cards here. And we're going to draw 5 over here. Okay. Their hand. Okay, so this is their hand of 4 cards, so then you just play them down. So I've got 3 prepares and an anticipate. So this means I have 3 purchasing power, and then I could either choose to hit the other player, or I could get another purchasing power. I am going to use it like that, and have 4 purchasing power, and I'm going to buy this one, Cleo. So right here, it's got the cost of 4, so I spent my 4 there. That shows that it's a human, that's a werewolf, a groupie, and then those are special stars, vampire. When I have her, I get to deal 4 damage and I have 1 purchasing power. And then other abilities, and there's this triangle down here. That means that she is a sentry. So this person stays in play after I play it until it's defeated. It has 1 health. Once it's defeated, it's taken out. Though you can choose either to hit, the vampire player can either choose to hit this guy or me. They should hit them because this is going to hit them back 4 on the next turn. So when you buy a card, it goes into a discard pile along with the hand. We deal out another card. Then you draw your next 5 cards. Then this player's going to go. So we have these: Hunt, Telepathy, Vega, Hunt, and Prepare. So we have 4 purchasing power, and we can hit for 4. We can hit for 4. So we can buy this one for 4. This special action down here is you may turn a groupie. So that means that if I play a groupie, you can take and put it on your side. And then this is an extra purchasing power for each one of these star cards in play. So that can be helpful later. And then I also hit the other player for 4. Discard pile over there. So then I go down 4 health. So 66. Alright, and then that's the end of that player's turn. So then each player just takes a turn going on until an end condition happens. So I'm just going to show some more cards. So this is a sentry. When you play it down and you play it as normal. So as soon as you may replace one of your cards in yours in the public market. So I could take this and get rid of it, pull out a new one. And then this is a sentry, so he stays out after my turn. So let's say I hit him for 4, so he's also at 66. And then I bought something for 4. I'll buy this, I'll explain it in a second. So then he goes, and then this guy stays out. So he's going to hit him for 2 every time until he kills him. Though it's only one of these little yield signs, so he can choose to attack either. Now, there's this other card, and it has a stop sign, a health of 4. this means that you have to hit this guy before you can kill any other sentries or killing me. So if I have a whole bunch of these, that's a shield to guard myself. And then this guy is also a surge, which means that when you buy it from here, it immediately goes out. So that's really cool. There's a couple of those. And that makes it a little more expensive because it's so powerful. These are some special cards that plants. So this is garlic. When you buy it, acquire, place into the opponent's discard pile. So that would go into their discard pile. Then it reduces their total attack by 1, and it hits them 1 to self. So they'd go down 1. On their next, when they get this in their hand. And it stays in their hand, so it keeps going until they trash it using some ability. Just a couple more things is that there's this ability called stun. So if this is out here, I stun, I pick this guy and I tap him, or turn him sideways. So then his ability is ineffective for 1 of my turns, and then it goes back after that. And then I can use it. There's block, which means this guy can't be hit for that turn. Here's a surge. So this is a weapon, so it must be equipped to a being to use. So it says being underneath. His name says being human. So he would have to have this equipped, and then he does 1 more damage. There's some special abilities here. Drain. That means that when you add up all the damage that you do that turn, you take me down that damage, and then you heal that much. So you'd go up and I'd go down. There's a couple of those in there, and then there are these groupies. So I showed you one of the cards is that it could turn a groupie. So if I had it, they could use it, and then he would have it now. There are some other abilities dealing with groupies, meaning you can do more damage or something. And then I also have a card over here where I can take a groupie back after they turn it. These werewolves, so they have a normal ability, and then they also have this other one underneath with a werewolf sign. So you have to have a second werewolf because they've got the little symbol up there. When you have a second one, then you get to do those abilities after that. So then we deal 1, 2, 3, plus 4, 7, plus 3 is 10 damage. So that's pretty powerful. So play continues, playing these cards, buying these cards over here until one player gets down to 0 health and they lose and the other player wins. That's how to play Crave. Okay, got my dad here for parents' opinion. So Dad, what do you think of Crave?
I thought Crave was a unique deck builder. One, because there's not a whole lot of 2-player deck building games.
I liked how there was the common buying area, and then each player had their own with cards just for them.
Yeah, I don't know if it's asymmetric in that sense. I mean, each player has the same goal.
I think it is asymmetric.
But the vampire, has a little bit different skills than the vampire hunters. Mm-hmm. Which do you think is easier to play?
I don't know. I lost at both. So
you lost being the vampires and the vampire hunters?
I think I beat you 1 round.
Yeah, you did.
As the humans.
The hunters?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we found that being the vampires was harder. So
they also have more powerful cards.
Yeah, you kind of have to manage your health, right?
Maybe I'm just really bad at being a vampire. But I had a hard time being a vampire.
So the vampire hunters have, more cards where they can heal. Mm-hmm. But the vampires can do drain. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty devastating when you can suck life from somebody and add it to your own. Yeah. But it's a matter of getting those cards to come out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then also vampires have a whole lot of purchasing power. So they could get a huge deck.
Yeah, so back to what you were saying about the common pool and then your unique pool, right? So there's a little bit of, do I want to make sure that you can't have that nice card that was in there, but knowing that, there's a cool card in front of me, but you will never get it, is kind of interesting decisions. But then maybe when, you have enough purchasing power, or when you get back to your turn, you don't have enough purchasing power and it sits there forever with 7, 7, 6, 6. And you can't buy anything.
And you were the vampire with all the purchasing power. So Components is a card game. So there's cards.
Yeah, and this is a prototype copy.
Yeah.
So we won't comment too much on the components there. And this is a Kickstarter that will be hitting very soon.
Yeah.
So the Black Forest Studios has done, they've produced some quality components. So I expect very similar output from them in terms of nice boxes, nice cards, and top-notch quality.
Yeah, good stuff there. The artwork is final though. It looks really good.
Yeah, Yeah, it's kind of cool, a little bit, dystopian. I don't know any vampires personally, so so I don't really know what they look like.
Well, that's where the artist gets their freedom.
Yeah. No, they did a really good job. I liked the is it the Black Forest Studio chocolates?
Oh yes, the Black Forest Studio chocolates. I almost bought 2 of them. I bought 1 in the game. And then, so strategy, we already kind of talked about that. It's asymmetric. Vampires, a lot of purchasing power, does a lot of damage fast. The human's kind of more balanced, does damage and heals.
And you have more sentinels. Like, it seemed like you had more...
So you could guard yourself.
More guys out, yeah.
No, you did that as human, and I couldn't touch you. That's why I lost.
Yeah. That's the way to play the humans.
That is. Sentinels. Yeah, so easy for kids. There's a lot of reading. There's text on every card.
Yeah.
So
and then deck
you need to be
building
able to read deck building, and
in
then
general is a little bit harder concept to get.
And then kind of being able to make those decisions on buying and attacking and other stuff like that.
Yeah, and trying to create combos. That's really, there were several times when I was the vampire, I kept drawing cards, hoping to get some combo going with, spellbound.
Yeah.
Trying to, get exponential spellbind, exponential attacks, and it just never happened. And I was even culling my deck, trashing stuff, and still never got the spellbind.
You just get 1 in every hand. That's how it works.
So there's a lot of strategy. I guess I will say, our initial playthroughs that we played, the decks are huge.
Yeah, they're very big,
and so you don't see a whole lot of cards.
Yeah, so a lot of the games are very different from game to game.
Yeah, which could be good and which could be bad, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think when we were playing the groupie cards, or the pink ones, right? And those ones, I think the vampires they have a lot of cards that say stuff that have to do with groupies. And the last time I played as a vampire, I only ever saw 1 of them.
Yeah, it's a big deck, so they could all be at the bottom, spaced out, or
Yeah. So I mean, that was kind of my only thing that I was like, it was kind of the one thing that I disliked about it was there's so many cards, which is a good thing that there's a lot of variety, but I felt like the vampires relied a lot on the cards and then they never came out.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, the other thing on strategy I wanted to say was the plants.
Oh yeah. So you have the plant cards in your pools, and you buy it, and then it goes in the other person's hand. And every single time it comes up in their hand, they get hit, or they do less damage, or some other stuff. Didn't have to discard a card.
Yeah, it clutters up and junks somebody else's hand up. But I thought that they did a really good job tying that lore into what vampires, the garlic or whatever, and then there's wolfsbane, the nightshade, and different things that kind of go along with this fantastical universe. What are some of the other human types, or I guess not human types, but they're beings?
Yeah, there were centaurs I saw, and elves and dwarves, and
yeah, and there was things about elves and dwarves, so like they don't do as well when there's because elves and dwarves don't get along. So that was, when you see those in the lineup, it's like, well, I kind of went dwarf. I don't want to pick up those elves because they don't do as good.
Yeah. So overall, I had a lot of fun with it. We just kept playing it. We played, and then we were like, all right, I want to play the other one. All right, now I want to go back.
Yeah, no, this is a really good one that you want to play over and over. And obviously, the more you know that deck and what cards are in there, the better you're going to be. Like, there were times where a card came up in the center pool, and it was like, ooh, I want that one. Lael, or whatever his name was. But if you never played before, you wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to destroy the other person if they are familiar with the cards and what they do.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to play this one a lot before you just sit down and challenge somebody.
All right. So Crave by Black Forest Studios. Thank you for watching. Brian's Got Game. Please like us on our Facebook page. Send us a tweet at Brian's Got Game. Visit our webpage, briansgotgame.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Brian, and this is my dad, and I'll see you next time.